Wepa, happy Monday. Woo! Welcome to a new Comic Crusaders podcast. Yeah, we've been killing it, right? Since last week, we're just doing pod after pod, introducing you to amazing creators from all types of spectrums, if you will. And today is going to be an even more awesome conversation, all right? But first, let me introduce my co-pilot of this special episode. My man runs an amazing website. It's all about film and media, all right? He even got his own channel now, all right? Killing it with reviews. I'm man, yo, you really want to know about Karate Kid, anything on Netflix and whatnot? This is the man to go to. I'm talking about the one and only Keith Klep Napier. What's going on, bro?
What's up, bro? Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you, bro. Man, you've been kicking ass on your YouTube. Good stuff, bro. Everybody, make sure to check it out. The Klep CX on YouTube. Great stuff, man. Short form content. You don't got to stay there 2 or 3 hours listening to people ramble on. My man gets to the point. So it's a really great show, Klep, man. I'm so happy you started doing that. I know these are things that were in the back of your mind last year. I know you went through your mission and then you said, hell, I'm here to do it. So good for that. But now, brother, today we're going to talk to somebody that's on a mission of their own.
I see. I'm ready. I'm mascotting today.
Yo, word. Ahí estamos. It is my pleasure to introduce this man that is on a quest, all right? HBO Max has announced that they want to do a Green Lantern series, right? Mm-hmm. My man over here did a fan film where he's basically putting himself out there, and I think he looks the part. Yeah. I'm talking about this amazing actor that he's been around doing small bits here and there, making his waves across the movie verse, if you will.
Earning the stripes.
Yeah, man, earning them stripes. The one and only Emeka Agada!
Hey.
Oh, man, thank you for coming on, hermano. How are you?
Good. Quick correction. It's Emeka.
Emeka.
Yeah, all good, man. It's all good.
I'm a name butcher, folks. Everybody in the Comic Crusaders podcast world just knows that Emeka is a butcher. But you know what? I want you to get into character. All right? So I may just call you, John.
All right.
Not just messing with you. So let's get into it, my brother. All right? I see that you're on a quest here. A lot of that I've seen to be John Stewart, Green Lantern, period. Whether it's HBO Max, films on WB, we got to get it done. You have an amazing fan film for which I'm going to show a little bit later. But before we even get into all of that, I don't know who you are, brother. So give us a little background into who Mr. Agada is.
Ooh, it's a big question. Very big question.
All right, where you from, hermano?
Yeah, I'm from Toronto, Canada. So
Toronto, Canada. Born and raised?
Yeah, born and raised. Actually, I grew up in a small country town, kind of country boys. So.
Oh, word.
Yeah. So
they got country towns in Canada?
Oh yeah, man.
You just blew my mind here. Anytime I think, country, rednecks, I'm thinking US, down south. Really? You got the spots up there too? You got your Canadian hicks, if you will?
Yeah, and you very rarely see any black people there. So
wow.
Yeah.
Well, listen, us black, brown, we don't like the cold. So, do you blame us for not being there?
No, I don't blame you.
All right, so where's your fandom come from? Do you have a fandom? Are you into comics, movies, film? Since a kid, like, what got you into doing all this kind of stuff and getting into it?
You know what? I grew up watching the Batman anime series from the 90s. I have a collection over there. I have a collection still. It's all 4 seasons. It's proper still. But I grew up loving being a DC fan for the most part. So loved watching Blade movies with Wesley Snipes. So I just kind of grew up, playing with, watching a lot of DC, playing with like the Marvel action heroes toys. And it was really just like, that's kind of where my fandom grew for the most part. So, yeah.
I'm loving this. A lot of people with the fandom, they tend to say, oh, Star Wars, hardly anyone says comics. It's, Star Wars movies or Star Wars TV show. It's a cartoon. So it's so funny that the generations, the way that they get hooked up into the culture is so different.
It's true. I mean, I think it's just based on like what you're exposed to first. I mean, I think as kids, you're going to be watching a lot of TV. I mean, I grew up in the TV era, if you want to call it that. So
I was the
babysitter, they're okay. But so it's just like whatever you saw on TV, you kind of just gravitated towards that. for the most part. I didn't really get into like comics until late. Mainly when I was preparing for this role to make this short film. So that's yeah.
So a little history though, because a lot of people don't know that John Stewart, Green Lantern, was actually DC's first African American superhero.
Yeah.
And it took him a long time, obviously, to get to that point.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. I mean, John came out in 1991, 92, right? I mean, sorry, 71, 72.
Yeah, he came December, January 72. And what kills me is when you listen to the origin of how he came about. It's basically two white men, Neil Adams and Julius Schwartz, that were coming up with the idea of a substitute Green Lantern, right? And so basically, it was Neil Adams that told Julius Schwartz, these are the words in a quote, "We ought to have a black Green Lantern, not because we're liberals, but because it just makes sense." You know, and well, that was the birth of the first African American hero. Yo, shout out Stu Dog watching, tuning in to us. So, and then obviously John Stewart became a bigger part of the mythos. He was the first, the backup, which became a major player in replacing not just Hal, but even Guy, because Guy was going off. There was the retcon. I want to ask you about that too, because John Stewart was an architect, right?
Yeah.
But then obviously through the Timverse and all that stuff later on, now he's a soldier. Did you like that change, that retcon?
Well, it's interesting. So, like I was saying to you, I grew up watching the animation. So Justice League animation, that was heavy on rotation. And so growing up and watching John and understanding his Marine background, when I later got into like reading a bit more about him and researching, I realized like, wow, his original piece is actually quite strong, quite strong. I'm really surprised at some of the changes they made in the animation, and even now New 52. Like, I'm really surprised they have changed certain things. I think John's at his best when he is still very much connected to his racial outspokenness, if you want to call it that. Yeah. But I think the Marine edge, I think it's pretty cool. Yeah.
And here's somebody, Stu Dog says, you could definitely pass with John Stewart, but you're going to need to shave. Don't worry, Stu. Wait till I show you the video. You're going to see a proper John Stewart. No worries. Right?
Now, I got a question now. Like, so what inspired you to do the movie? Was it for the role, or did you just want to do the short film first, and then it was just something that you just wanted to... You thought after the fact? Was it the film first, or was it the role first?
Oh, for me, I think it was more so the role. Like I just said one day, this is what I want to do. So I started like a little campaign, and then I was like, you know what? I gotta do more than just like posting up little things online. I'm like, oh, support me. I gotta make a video. Okay. So really went all hands in. So.
Dope.
Yeah, you definitely went hands in. Oh man, you know what? We're talking about this. We're teasing people here. You know what I mean? So let me do a quick screen share. I'm gonna put this on the side though, okay? Because I don't want you two trying to ding me, because we gotta stay on the side. With some commentary, if you will. I'm learning, folks. Let me tell you.
Role in the
I was joking that YT stands for Yankees.
Not a lot happens except
all right.
The page.
Now,
I think
Johnny
will be happy that Mary Jane is back.
My man, Emeka
Back to the redhead.
Agada.
What did you guys think about this issue? I know it's kind of a quick read in a lot of.
Wake up, maggot!
Do we really need? Do we really need 4 freaking issues a month for this? Do we really need that? Bring it back to bring it back to 2, and then stop, cut it out with this freaking Kindred stuff because it's boring. I'm done. Writers I respect what Nick Spencer does. The art by Matthew Rosenberg.
What's that Timverse Stewart right there?
And Matthew Rosenberg. Art by Federico Vincentini. Great stuff. Freaking But
Get down,
if you're tuning in every freaking week, you're getting freaking bored. I'm freaking done. I'm already on something else.
You look
No.
weak, soldier. Hey,
No, the whole thing about the freaking monsters. Oh, hey, everybody's freaking monsters now, and then controlled by Kendrick and everything. You know what? Guess what? They're all in submarines. Spider-Man strapped. I don't care. I don't care about Peter Parker right now. I don't. When it's Peter Parker and Mary Jane, and he has to care for Mary Jane, I care. But you've had Mary Jane for out of the picture so long, I forgot.
We are not above the law.
I forgot there was a whole big thing. Remember, 6 months ago we were talking about how Black Cat was a thing. I don't forgot about that, right? And if they're introducing, hey, Silk and Rania and Miles Morales, and you're trying to remind everybody that's fine. But this was not the storyline to do that.
I can tell you that Rania's probably not happening, clearly. But the other ones, Silk, she's in my opinion, she's the better Spider-Woman.
True. I mean, yeah. I mean,
my opinion.
If you're freaking speculating fucking Silk, I mean that's fine.
It's more than reading. Just like the storyline that they gave her, I think they gave her a better story, even though it didn't sell as much as Spider-Gwen. I think Spider-Gwen would sell more on hype.
You know what? I agree with that. I've got Spider-Gwen #1 and Silk #1 from back in the day. I like Silk better than Spider-Gwen, but Jessica Drew's the girl I like every time. Apart from in her own book, ironically, because her own book sucks. She's great everywhere else.
So I think Lucas has a good point about forgetting what has happened before, as practically as soon as you read it, where everything now is being written for the trade, where you're getting a self-contained storyline and then they move on, and whatever characters have appeared and whatever happens to the characters is either undone in the next storyline. It's not even referred to. So I think that's a great point. And it's a good conversation to have about continuity. And exactly like in 6 months, no one's going to remember that Harry was Kindred, or that was a big reveal, right? And it is really bad.
Dude, a year ago, Ultra, if you remember, we were all hyped about the Red Goblin. That was a big thing with the Osborn family, the Red Goblin. Now you're bringing out the freaking Kindred. And next comic.
Well, they are trying to keep it fresh, and they did the same thing with Maniac.
No, they're not.
Well, I thought Maniac, as far as symbiotes go, was a refreshing take on a symbiote villain Spider-Man. But they,
really, with King of Black going.
Well, I mean, Lee Price was Venom for a little while, and then of course it's symbiote taken away from him and became Maniac. But they did that one story arc, Venom Inc., and then shelved him. He's been gone since. So wonder what's going to happen.
Screwing over speculators that shelled out 150 bucks for it.
So next book. Lucas obviously clobbered this movie.
Well, for me, I'm kind of always last few issues is fine. Harry's the big bad. So for me, when Nick Spencer came on this book, I was hoping
as a Marine Corps
it was a little bit controversial, a little bit different.
I know the darkest that comes to that life.
And I thought, you know what,
but
we're
here,
going to get something that's going to really
I see so much
more.
more.
What we've had is
I see heroes.
Of the classic
I see warriors. I see Green Lanterns.
One thing that made the book
it's up to us
even slightly
interesting to remind those in the dark that they are not alone.
He ships MJ.
They got us
to Hollywood.
Our will.
My interest level
is
quicker than the Titanic.
Let's go. And today is
and now this whole thing, and I'm kind of like,
you know what? Johnny. Another piece of that was that Mary Jane. She was actually she had this support group where she was talking to other survivors and families of other superheroes.
Yeah, I remember.
They dropped that freaking like it was a freaking hot freaking piece of shit. Yeah, I'm sorry for my language. They dropped that so freaking quick, right? That was freaking. There was supposed to be some whole big mystery on it, on the whole thing. They said.
Good job, bro. Good job on that, brother.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
So, question is here, man. Who's First Journey Studios, and how long did it take y'all to put this together?
Yeah, so at a childhood friend of mine, kind of reached out to him. I said, hey, man, I'm really dying to make this thing happen. He's like, yeah, cool. What do you got? So I spent some time just writing something up, took some pieces from like John's original origin, and then some of the Justice League animation, and then kind of put that together. And there was that. It took us 3 days in total, so 2 days to shoot the full thing, and then we had to come back again and a few months later to shoot again because at the end where he's like giving that speech, originally the idea on the script was that he's going to be in space doing that. So we had like green screen, we shot it and everything, but unfortunately, I guess the the green screen, because the suit has the green on it, right? It was into the suit. Man.
Gotcha. Well, again, you don't have to use literally green. You could have used a blue screen. I learned this later on too. It's like you don't have to be stuck with green, even though it's called the green screen.
Yeah.
Oh man, you teased me, man. Now I'm picturing this in space and all. It would have been so.
It would have been epic.
Man, but no, definitely a great job. Clap is into this type of cinematography and recording. I'm pretty sure Clap has some questions.
Yeah, no, I thought it was cool. Like, even like you guys are just doing it, it's like a short and well put together. It looks clean. I was interested about the ring, like the effect, like who did the effect on that? Like
yeah, so my boy, he basically he had the green screen, had the ring on a string basically, and it just
it was on the string.
Oh wow,
something like that. Yeah,
I thought it was like completely animated. I didn't know it was an actual ring. That's
an actual ring. So
that's
cool.
The trade secrets, folks. Trade secrets. A ring on a string. I spoke on a rope. Don't get mistaken, because you don't got to bend down for this ring. Thank God.
Ring on a string.
So, brother, what are you doing then? Other than the video, to get yourself noticed by HBO? Because it's true, man. They're offering a Green Lantern show, and I mean, the way they kind of make it. In the explanation, it's more of a Green Lantern Corps, which means that John Stewart has a home there. Like there is no Corps. It's like without Stewart and Kilowog, what Corps? You know what I mean? Those are the two. Jordan, first Lantern, but he didn't come to the Corps until later on when you started seeing that cast of characters. I think even John was more intertwined with the Corps even before Hal was. You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
So So what marketing are you doing to hopefully get cast on this role? And do you know if they've been doing any places where you could try out for the role?
Yeah, I mean, something like this, I mean, you need access. You need people who are in the industry who know people for the most part. So like I'm doing my own thing in terms of like building my fan base online on social media and stuff like that. But I think eventually I want to reach out to my agent and like let them know to like hopefully reach out to WB or whoever's in charge of that. So
we need it. Even if you know what, listen, HBO Max, sure, that's the money maker, but shit, I could even see you on a CW Green Lantern. You know what I mean? Why not? But just don't cry as much as Barry, please.
I think Diggle got that role though. Diggle got that. John Diggle.
But is he though? I know we saw the thing at the end. They kind of left us off like that. I mean, we still don't know. Is it John Diggle Stewart? You know what? Well, John is great. Big ups to the actor that played, Diggle. But Mr. A here, I think he looks more John Stewart. Definitely. Especially in that video, but you really got that 90s version, if you will, of John Stewart down pat, in that era with the mosaic and all that.
Yeah, that was like my biggest like inspiration for the most part. When I opened it, I actually have it here in my hand. It's right here. So when I opened it the first time, I was reading through, I was like, wow, like there's so much richness to John that I've never been exposed to.
And pain. I mean, what happened? What led into Mosaic is something that he did inadvertently, trying to think he was doing something greater. If you guys have not read Mosaic, I don't want to spoil it here. It's an old school story, but dude, it leads into his run that was about 18 issues, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And it's listen, if you want to really know John, that's you really got to get into Mosaic. All right, you want to know John? Get his first app, which is Green Lantern Volume 2, number 87. Okay. And then obviously, from there, when he kind of picks up the mantle of Green Lantern more when Hal is away. So we're talking about Volume 2 of issues 182 through 200, right? And then it became the Green Lantern Corps. And then John was like main focus from 201 to 224. You know what I mean? So he's had so much. And then obviously we got the 4-part story Mosaic that then led, which is for Volume 3, issues 14 through 17, folks. And then you go dip into the Mosaic 18 issues, as I said earlier. Yep. And you learn a lot about John. Because John is an interesting character. I mean, he was the third Green Lantern? Because it was Hal, Guy, and then. But basically, John was a backup of a backup because Guy was too broken to back up Hal. And that's where John came into place. So I'm sorry, I'm a geek when it comes to
worries, no worries. But what I was gonna say was that first issue is nice. I mean, I haven't read the whole thing, but I've read bits of it. And what I find interesting is that when Hal Jordan is like forced to kind of take John in, like John is just like he does not care. He's not listening to Hal at all. You know, and I find it very cool that they wrote in the whole part of the outfit, the mask, and John's just like, nah, I thought that was really cool, really, really cool. So
why hide his face? I mean, because that kind of leads back to a story within Green Lantern when, if you remember, it's a very famous one where basically an African American gentleman comes up to Hal like, you have all this power, but you ain't doing crap. You know what I mean? You're hiding your face doing that. You know what I mean? And it's great, exactly as you said, that John was the Lantern to say, I don't need a mask, and I'm here for my peeps, and more than just that. And it's funny you bring up that first issue and that first appearance, if you will, where he wasn't listening. It's because he really was trying to protect, because he was a lot smarter than Hal was. Because John was also a dude from the hood, from the street. He knows, and he saw that something was getting played in that first issue. And while Hal was so ignorant to what was going on, John Stewart was the one that actually saved the day. And he proved to Hal at that point in time, like, all right, this dude is legit, He again, he had to work a little harder, like we all do.
yeah.
But he proved his point and it showed up, Hal, which was, for me, fantastic.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you that, I mean, John is a really complex character. I think a lot of people dislike John a bit just because they feel like, oh, he's cold, he's a little too cold, a little too by the book, but I think deep down he definitely has a big heart and definitely cares, and is always, I think, 2 steps ahead of everyone.
Yeah, and this is why he holds that pain though from that Mosaic storyline. I mean, it's actually Cosmic Odyssey where he destroys something, and in that story, it's a huge loss of life. Again, not his fault, but he's a heavy heart and he takes that. And again, that's where we dive into Mosaic, and we even get into Dark Stars. That's when the collapse of the Green Lantern Corps. And again, John in the middle of it.
Emeka, I want to ask you a question though about doing this, like with the Black Panthers movies out there, and now we got Batwoman coming. Like, what is the most important thing about this character that you hope, if you get it or not get it, that you want people to know about this character? Like, what is it about it that draws you to want to bring this to life about this character?
Damn.
Good one.
That's a great question. That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think I mean, going back to John's origin, just like him being that face of that racial outspokenness, I think that's such a vital part of his character, and at its core speaks differently about all the other Black Panther and Catwoman and all that. So I would love if, when DC does do that, to bring that up for him, because I think that's I think that sets John really apart from everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
You made me think. It's true that the Catwoman was what the first African American presentation of a DC character, right? Was it right? Catwoman. I mean, not just the Batman show, but in a movie form. It was Halle Berry's Catwoman.
I said Batwoman, but yeah, as a kid, Catwoman was, I think at the time, like one of the first.
Yeah, but I want to shout out Stu for showing me some love for my Latino here. He said, "Don't forget Jessica and Simon." Well, Simon is not Latino. He is Middle Eastern. Jessica is Latina. But again, you see that Green Lantern really does diversify, if you will, and even on Earth. I mean, how many lanterns do we got, son? So you know what, Mr. A, how many lanterns do we got? Let me test your geekiness.
Earth.
Yeah. How many 2814 Guardians we got?
Oh man. All right, we got okay. We got Hal, we got Guy, we got John, Kyle, Jessica, Simon, Alan, Scott. No.
Yeah, you can. I would play because he's old school. So you named the kid.
What about the two new ones that just came out recently?
Oh man, the Far Sector one. I forgot her name. I mean, but she looks ill. Ill. She's ill, and I mean, I believe she's the one that's going to get the next cartoon too.
You think so?
Yes. Yeah. Do it again. We don't have many colored characters in animation. Let's get real here. And I love that they're creating the characters now. Let's do it. Oh, it's true. Stu Dog says it's 7, man. You got and Jade. Stu Dog is on the money, kid. Thank you, bro.
I like it.
And Emeka, guess what? Stu is a fellow Canadian.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because when you say Canada, he goes right here, Canada. Same here. So you're talking to one of your fellow citizens out there.
Hey, all right.
Okay. The Far Sector Sojourner. Stu Dog is on the money. Let me tell you, Stu Dog is the big comic book collector too. And he actually hangs out with my peoples from Full Blast Radio and Reno Noir for the 6th element of hip hop comics. Because they say the 6th element of hip hop is comics. See the science behind that? I love it.
So I got a question for you two.
Yeah.
Now you asked me about Green Lantern and the importance of him coming out. I want to ask you, like, how do you feel with the new TV series coming out, and then this potential film with, I think they might go with Hal and John. How much of an impact do you think that will be on the comic book genre?
You want that, Al? You want me to go?
All I say is from the speculation standpoint, that happens, it's gonna be bonkers, especially with that first app of a John Stewart and whatnot, or any of the Green Lanterns. And I love the fact that I would rather see a Hal and John show than a Hal and Guy show. Guy, cool character, but I don't want to see two white characters parlaying so quick. I want to see, and I want DC to show the diversity. And basically, two different races that are working for an alien race, working together, for one common cause, which is to protect Earth.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's going. Like, I mean, like DC's already been making their changes with television, like with the Batwoman, Orion Wilder.
Awesome. Backdoor number 50, guys. The line that came out a few months ago. You better pick it up. First app.
So I think to keep things fresh, because DC's been having some trouble keeping that continuity going. So I think to start something fresh, this is the type of stories they need to go towards and do this. And I think they'll bring in a better audience, make another audience familiar with what they do other than Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. So,
and look what Stu Dog does. I guess Stu doesn't agree with me. He'd rather see it start with John and Guy. The number 1 and the number 2 2814 guys.
I think it'd be good. Yeah.
But it's like putting, Hal is like saying that's The Rock, and you're putting Mo. That's why Guy Gardner reminds me of Mo from the Three Stooges. I'd rather see John, for real, man. We need that.
Yeah, it's time. It's time for him to come out. I mean, they already tried Hal before, and that didn't go too well for them.
But look who they chose, dude. Yeah. I mean, he's a great Deadpool, but he's not a Hal Jordan. I'm sorry. He's just not. He never was.
What's interesting is that, you had a generation who grew up watching John on TV. And then as soon as the first movie came out, it's not John, it's Hal. And I remember there was like a lot of confusion with a lot of fans. Like, but I grew up watching John. Like, why who's this? Who's this Lantern?
Oh. See, Stu Dog says Jessica and John would be really good because of Jessica's past and her mental illness issues. Because remember, Jessica had the Green Lantern ring from the other world, the one that was more about cowardice, if you will. You know what I mean? Fear and whatnot. That Green Lantern that was very different from the alternate Earth. And you know, I definitely got to conflict. Again, Stu, next time I might have you on, we're going to have to talk about all this Green Lantern stuff. Because my man is just throwing knowledge. No, wait a minute. He loves this. What is it with Canadians and Green Lantern? Damn.
Too
So,
funny.
I got to ask though, so outside of Jon Stewart, what other favorite characters do you have?
Superman. Superman, yeah. Definitely Superman.
Do you like seeing the different iterations of Superman and the comics that they've done? They even did an African American Superman. They got a Superboy Prime. They got the Dark Superman. I mean, they got tons. You got Hell.
Superman.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to have different iterations of the character, right? Because I think that's how you keep it fresh for the most part. But I don't know. I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to Superman. Just a little bit. like the whole debate between should Superman have his red trunks on or not? I'm so for it. I'm so for it.
Wait, so you want the red trunks?
Yeah.
You know what?
Were you one of those guys that was upset about the Man of Steel Superman? Was he too dark? Was he too dark?
No, not too much. But in terms of the animations, I'm like, I really want them to just bring it back, keep it there. But I get why people don't want it. I really do get why people don't want it. So.
Oh my God, Stu just blew something into my mind here. He mentions Icon and Rocket. Are you familiar with those characters?
Icon, I know Icon.
Icon, yeah, not Rocket though.
Well, that's the little one that would hang out with Icon, if you remember. The little, his partner, the female.
Okay, yeah.
Bro, I would love to see you do Icon too. I think you could pull it off, bro.
Icon, yeah, you yeah.
Yeah, man, I think you could do Icon too, bro. And it's still DC, and it's the Codaverse.
I can see that.
You bringing the whole POC universe to life.
Okay, I'm bringing it all in.
Yeah, bro. Listen, DC. This is what hurts me about DC. They have the Codaverse, you know, aka the Milestone verse, or even over here. And here we go, Stu Dog. Thank you. Val Zod is the Black Superman, which is also the president of the United States. Bro, imagine having Superman as the president of the United States. Bro.
His first appearance was in the After Crisis, I believe, or
something like that. Yep. Yeah. We're both collectors here, guys. We go after first appearances. Yeah. Now,
always.
Yo, dude. Yeah, and Stu, see, he says it too. He thinks you could also do Val Zod too, man.
Yep,
be the African American super. Bro, we're giving you more roles than you came on for.
Now you gotta do a movie for all of them now.
Yeah, bro.
Now when I talk to WB, I'm like, listen, if you don't want me for Green Lantern, I got this list of characters.
I got Val Zod. Let's get it done, kiddo. Absolutely, bro. Why not? So when it comes to your acting chops, though, man, you know, what was your first toe dip into it, if you will, into acting?
Yeah, high school I did a stage play, and then I kind of grew from there. So it was like a musical. That's the first thing I did, a musical.
A musical?
Yeah, a musical. Then I got into some Shakespeare, and that was like really cool.
Are you busting some notes on that musical?
You know, a little something.
I love musicals. I'm a huge musical fan.
Oh yeah, what's your favorite musical?
Let's see. There's a bunch of them. I love Dreamgirls. I love. I'm a Hairspray fan. I'm a Grease fan for life. I'm a Grease fan.
Shoot.
If you look at him, you would never think, right?
Listen. I used to do music, so like I really respect the writing aspect. Like a catchy tune is a catchy tune. I don't care who's singing it or who wrote it. So I always respect Little Shop of Horrors. I grew up on that one. That was like one that made me like really dive into like musical films. So I love musicals. And I'm looking forward to the Dear Evan Hansen when that comes out because I love that soundtrack. So
the only musical I've ever been able to handle because I was laughing throughout it all was Batman Brave and the Bold with the music maestro. I love that one. That was a half-hour musical. That's as much as I could take when it comes to musicals, bro.
Funny.
And Stu Dog coming with more. You could also be Hardware from the Dakota verse. Man, he's basically the black Tony
He's
Stark.
coming at it. He's coming at it.
He also answered Klep's question, the first appearance of Val Zod, Final Crisis number 7.
Final Crisis, yeah. I knew it was a crisis something.
Shout out to Stu Dog, man. And just an announcement here, man. I've asked him to become one of my Comic Crusaders writers. He's really appreciated. So yeah, welcome. He's a fellow Crusader here, letting us know and schooling us right now.
Yeah.
This is great, man. Real love chat with you, bro. So
thank you.
What else is in the future for you though? What else we looking for in the world of Emeka Agada over here?
Yeah. So I got. I'm in the show called Nurses. It's on NBC. And that show
wow!
Oh, you are.
Oh man, I gotta check you out. Well, my woman, she's a nurse, so she's been dying to watch that. So.
Oh really? Yeah. So yeah, I'm on one of the episodes. So.
How'd you get that gig, man?
Yeah, I auditioned for it and booked a guest star role in it. So I should be on one of the episodes hopefully later this year. So.
Did it take just one audition, or did you have to visit several times? How does that work?
Well, I mean, because of COVID, it's over Zoom some most times. So it was like a couple times, but
on Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom audition. Yeah.
Oh man, so how's that experience, man? How did you feel? Like, was that the first time you ever auditioned on a Zoom?
I think pre-COVID, never. But during, definitely, like that's been quite the normal thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. And how did you, especially in Canada, how did you guys deal with the COVID situation and whatnot?
Well, here we had like a lockdown, and we're still in a lockdown right now.
And what's the lockdown? What are the limitations of your lockdown? Oh my God, it's Stu Dog again, bro. He's just killing us. He also says, Mr. Terrific. He's just coming out with every African American DC, bro, right? Yo, play, bro.
Just tell him to give you a list, and you can go through all.
Email me.
Email Emeka. We already shared that earlier. You know what, man? I haven't been blasting that. You wanna know where to even contact him? Go right there, bro, on Twitter, at Instagram. Yo, Stu, hit him up and send him that list, and he's gonna do a movie for each one now. All right.
Thanks.
So, Emeka, how many episodes are you on the Nurses? You said
I'm on for the one episode. So that should be like later in the episode, later in that second season of it.
Okay.
Show. Yeah.
I'm gonna look out for you.
Yeah, but this is great, man. There's somebody that's up and coming, folks, man. You gotta show the love, man. This is real deal, bro. Oh, and somebody wants to know: are you Canadians gonna take the vaccine? And what are the views on it from the Canadian perspective, coming from a fellow Canadian?
Yeah. I think right now they've been distributing the vaccine here for the most part. So I think everyone is planning on taking it for the most part. So.
Gotcha. Has there been any negative views on it, though? Well, again, us in the States, we're not privy to your news unless we have a satellite or something,
I think some people, and I think in every country, I think there's groups. There's always going to be a group of people who don't necessarily agree with it, and some people who do are for it. Salute to you. So it just all depends, yeah. But it's so much has changed in the world in the last 6 months, so.
Yeah.
I think hopefully this vaccine will definitely, put some ease to people. So
I hope so. I just want to get back to normal. I want to go back to my comic book conventions because you could have been renting a table at a con, telling people, "I'm going to be Jon Stewart. You better vote for me. Here, sign here. We need to do a petition for you, brother."
Yeah.
Hey, I'm for it.
You look the part. The fan filmer for you to actually take time to create that, to show your love for this specific character.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that's unique in itself, and I hope that HBO Max, WB, CW, someone, take some moment to take a look, bro. You're talented. You got to look for it. You're diesel too, bro. So that's what I'm saying. You can play all these diesel roles, bro. You know, hey, before we get to that too, before we end, when it comes to health, man, I see you're a big dude. You know, what's your routine and health stamina, health routine like?
And
how important is that in your routine in life?
Pretty important, man. I get up pretty early in the morning to do my workout, go for a nice jog. And then I'm just like, well, because of COVID, I'm not at the gym right now, but I'll do like simple body weights. But before COVID, I was like in the gym twice a day, most times.
Oh damn, twice a day, bro.
Yeah, lifting heavy. I'd reached in March, I'd peaked at 300 pounds in the bench press. So I was like pretty happy.
Wow. So your gyms are closed down too?
Yeah, because we're in a lockdown, right?
So it's like they're behind us, Al. Like, because we went through all of that. We're like, our gyms are open again. Things are kind of slowly coming back.
They want to kill us slowly over here. Come on.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
Terrible.
I thought we were the last. Like, I thought the states were like hitting it the worst, and then everybody else was kind of still moving. And now I didn't know that.
No, Canada cares about their people. Apparently, let me tell you, I've heard it many times from my wife. It's like, let's just move to Canada. But I'm like, I don't think you're gonna like the cold. I know I'm not.
The cold will definitely. It's gonna send you right back to the States, man. So
especially me, I went from up north to down south. I'm in Florida now, so I went through my first 2 Christmases that were hot in my life. I'm like, this is not Christmas. It's weird. It's just weird to me.
It was pretty warm up here too, Al, during that time. It didn't really get too crazy. Yeah, it didn't get too crazy.
I think even winter caught COVID. That's why. So I know that I've been blasting this in the bottom as well, and I also want to show off my man Clep. For example, everybody follow my boy Keith. You know, Clep CX on Instagram. Yes. Go to his YouTube. Look up Clep CX. Look up Critics with an X. Because, you know, him and his family are dropping bombs all the time. Great news, especially when it comes to entertainment, movies, TV. My man is on the pulse. All right. And of course, you got to follow my man, Mr. A. Please do. We need to do a petition. We got to get this done. So, but I want you to verbally say it. So, where can we follow you and keep up to date on everything in the world of Emeka?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as well.
You have a Facebook, bro? So what's the Facebook?
Yeah, it's called Emeka Agada. You definitely can.
Emeka Agada. There we go. Oh, man. Yo, another one pop. Aqualad. Dude's a beast, bro. He got this list over here, man. And Cook says you have a great attitude, and then we had a great show. So, you know, aiming salute to Clep and myself and you, you know, so Cooks, thank you. And tune in tonight. I'm going to be on Cook's channel because I'm going to be on the other side of this where he's going to interview me. That's something I'm used to, but, you know, I can't wait for tonight with Cooks 24. Check them out. Check out my extended family, Stu Dog, got 6 Element Hip Hop, Reno Noir, and DJ Tiger. Clep. Shout out your channels right now, brother.
It's Clep CX on all platforms, ladies and gentlemen. I keep it simple. No underscores, no dots. Clep CX everywhere. So just go to whatever social network you use and just put Clep CX. If I'm there, I'm there. If I'm not, it's because I ain't get there yet. But that's how you find me.
And no worries, I'll be harassing him to get there if he's not. So no worries about that. And with that, I am Al Mega. Please visit ComicCrusaders.com. undercovercapes.com to check out my extended podcast family. Make sure to check out everybody in the PCNN. You know, my people from Soul Wizard. You got Mario Esco. You know what I mean? You got Fan Men. So make sure to check them out. All great people, amazing people. And tune into our YouTube that you're watching right now. We had some great shows over the past week. You could definitely tune into. And with that, guess what I'm about to say, folks? Can you guess? Huepa, para que tú sepas, Al Mega, Boris Supremo de Isabela, and we out. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Much love. Man.